Hello, good evening, guys. Good evening, YouTube. My name is Zuhairah with Read Read Books, and I have been out for a minute. A lot has gone on. I'm still reading Magic Lessons. This book still has to go back to the library, but a lot has happened since my last video. One thing is I got a breast reduction and I am officially a part of the itty bitty titty committee. So I'm really proud about that. So that did kind of slow down a lot of my reading because I'm in a lot of pain. This shit hurts. But anyway, it's well worth it because my titties are going to be amazing soon. But anyway, I didn't come to talk to you about my titties. I really just wanted to tell you what I remember from Magic Lessons. I'm totally enjoying this book. Let's see, what page am I on? I'm on page 223. And in my last video, like I said, poor little Maria, she's got a freaking hard life. Like, damn, this girl, I feel so bad for her. But then again, it was in 1600, so who didn't have a bad life back then? Yeah, I think they all had pretty hard lives. But anyway, her parents, so in love and so not caring about their little daughter. Remember I told you about that boat ride they put her on? Why did they sell her to some Dutch guy to be his servant for 5 freaking years? Like, those are some parenting skills. I'm like, who could do that to their child? They did. Anyway, so she is a servant now for a Dutch family down in the islands called Curaçao, or however you say it, but it's in the islands. And of course, her little crow goes off with her. The crow's name is Caden, and he's very important to her because he's kind of like her spirit animal. He protects her and all that stuff. So she is a servant for 5 freaking years. So she's like 15. This is her last year of being a servant. And there's this guy that comes in. His name is John Hawthorne. He's a businessman. And he comes and he's doing, business with Maria's master, I guess. And he sweeps Maria off her feet. I mean, gives her sapphires, gives her diamonds, gives her her first sexual experience too, which is like, he's too old for this because like she's only 15. And she is like, wait, she's 15 and he's like 25. So like he's got 10 years on her. He knows better. Anyway, seduces this young girl. And after 6 days of just having this girl thinking she is in love and this is the one, he ghosted her. That bastard ghosted her. So like she's losing her mind. She's like, hey, where'd this man go? He's been giving me gifts. He's been showing me love. He done gave me the D. Where did he go? So she's going off on her master. So anyway, of course, she don't know where he went, but she finds out later on that he's from Massachusetts and he's going back to Massachusetts and not to an empty house. He's going back to his family. The man is married. I guess they did this back in the 1600s too. It's just, I'm so mad for this girl. But she doesn't know he already has a family. Poor thing. So after she is, did her little duty for the Dutch family and she's on her own, she's just like, all right, I'm going to give birth to this baby. I'm going to find this man. I'm going to get on a boat to Massachusetts. So she gives birth to another little baby. And her baby, what's she named that baby? Damn it. I can't remember what she named the baby. But the baby has red hair. And the baby, she's a witch too. But anyway, so she's just like, after she has the baby, she's like, you know what? I'm out. So she gets on this boat. And on this boat, there's these 2 sailors. It's a father and son type duo. And the son, he's all messed up. He got some kind of sweating disease or something like that. Some kind of disease he caught in the swamp or something. And he gonna die. He ain't gonna make it to that trip. And the girl was just like, hey, get me on this boat. Take me and my baby on this boat to Massachusetts and I'll make sure your son doesn't die. Like, I'll keep his ass alive. So the father was just like, no, this isn't a good look for a baby to be on the ship. It's bad luck. I don't want this baby. I don't want this witch on this boat. And the son was just like, Dad, I guess you want me to die then. So they go back and forth. Of course the son wins because, Dad don't want his son to die. So she's healing him on the boat, healing him on the boat, healing him on the boat. And this man, he's having all these dreams about her. And as he's getting better, he's falling for Maria. And Maria's like, hey, I can't fall for you. The whole point of this trip is to get back to John Hawthorne. That's my baby's daddy. Like, we are meant to be together. I don't know why he ghosted me, but like, we are meant to be together. So like, Sam, calm down. Nothing happening. I'm just going to save your life. Anyway, they dock. And Sam is already in love with the girl, but she's just like, hey, boo, nothing's going to happen here, even though I laid with you a few times on this boat. It's nothing going to go further. But the little girl, she has a thing for Sam, the little baby. Because, like, hell, I guess boat trips back then, they must have took a long time. Because by the time the baby got there, she's pretty big. I don't know. But it doesn't say how long that boat trip took. But anyway, so they go. And she doesn't find John Hawthorne immediately. But she does her little research. Because she's a smart girl. She's smart. And she finally tracks Hawthorne down. And she's just like, hey, Hawthorne, I bet she thought you weren't going to see me again. And he's like, wow, you're magnificent, but you got to stay over here. So he sets her up on the other side of town in like a shack type situation, doing his double life kind of things. Like he'd go and sleep with her a few nights and then he'd go back home. And it took a minute for her to click. She was just like, hey, how come this man ain't staying with me? He should be staying with me. So one night, she follows him. And she finds out, this man is married. He got a whole family. Married. And I think they got a son together. Yeah, they got a son together. So, Maria goes up with her little redhead baby on her hip. And she's like, nah, he can't play me like that. I'm not going to let him do that to me. I need an explanation. So she goes to the little boy and she goes, you give this note to your daddy. And the boy, he already has some kind of instinct. He's just like, something is not right about this woman. I guess they used to talk about witches a lot back then. I don't know. But the boy, he didn't really trust it. But gives the note to the dad. The wife finds out and she's like, what the hell is going on? So she's scared. The wife is scared. She's trembling in her boots. And he's just like, you know what? You deal with her. And she's just like, no, you deal with her. They go back and forth about who's going to deal with this harmless 15-year-old witch who just wants an explanation of like, why you break my heart? He can't give her an explanation. But the guy from the boat, Samuel, he gave her some indication that that dude wasn't about shit anyway. Because he was just like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So the diamonds and the sapphires he gave her, she was just like, okay, I'm on a ship. I don't want to get robbed. So she sewed them in her clothes to keep them safe. Somehow Samuel sees them and he's just like, I don't even know why you wasted your time sewing that in there because that's not real blue. And she's just like, yes, it is real. And he's like, no, that's fake. Just like the love you have for this guy. Fake, 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 fake. She wasn't trying to hear that. So anyway, Mr. Hawthorne, he is getting really frustrated with Maria messing up his scene because it was cool whenever he could slide on over to her place and do what men do and then go back home. But she's just like, no, we're not going to keep doing this, sir. Oh, God, it's so freaking annoying. They even did this back in the 1600s. The bastard. So anyway, he's just like, okay, we got to stop her. And one night she got her crow. And it's so funny because the crow didn't like this guy either. Because like back when they were on the islands, the crow would throw rocks at him and do mean things. He hated that crow. So the girl was just like, okay, crow activation. We gonna mess up Mr. Hawthorne's life. So he would throw rocks at their house and he would get all the other crows and they would harass them. And they were just like, hey, this Hawthorne guy, he's like bewitched. Something is going on with this Hawthorne guy. So the whole neighborhood is just like, hey, we got to kill these crows. And we got to get rid of this dang on witch. Because she's going to bewitch us too. So one night, all the crows are out there doing crow things and disrupting the neighborhood. And those guys all went and got guns. And they just shot down all the damn crows. and she lost Caden. And she was just so upset about that because she was just like, yo, that was my crow. Like, why would you do something like that? That was my crow. I mean, I've had him since I was a baby. So she's like 18 now. Is she that old? Yeah, she's about 18 now because the guy's wife is 19. He loves them young, I guess. So she's upset because her crow is dead and all the people in the neighborhood are against her. So she's kind of got to get out of town. But Samuel, he comes out of nowhere because he loved her. He loved her from first sight when they were on that boat and she healed him and sexed him some. He was just like, yeah, she's the one. So he comes back for her and he comes back for her baby. And what happened was after that whole masquerade with killing the crows and everything, they're just like, hey, we got to hunt her down. She can't live. So he was like, hey, come with me to Boston and we're going to hide. We're going to hide together and I'm going to keep you safe. Anyway, somehow she ends up getting arrested and going to prison because they're like, she's a witch. And there's this woman, I think her name is Miss Colston or something like that. She never has kids, but she used to always see Maria's daughter playing around. Maria had such a sweet little daughter. Can't remember her name to save my life. Anyway, I just know she was sweet. Anyway, she wanted a baby. She never had a child before. So she was just like, hey, while she's in prison, I'm going to keep this child. So as they locking her up, she was just like, hey, I'm the only one who could take care of this child for you. You're about to get locked up. I'll give her a good home. Do the right thing, boo. Let me have your baby. So Maria, she don't know what she's going to do. They tried to drown her. They tried to do all kind of things. But because she's a witch and she had these powers, they weren't able to kill her. So now she is trying to get her baby because like Samuel comes back and saves her from prison. Now she doesn't have her baby. So he's like, hey, we're going to find your baby. So now these two are looking for the baby. His dad, Abraham, he is retired from shipping and he's all old or whatever. So like he's like, hey, you're going to move in with us. You're going to take care of my dad while I'm at sea. And when I'm home, we're going to find your baby. Like, we're going to be a family someday. And I already told you that John Hawthorne, he was a piece of crap. But I'm not going to rub your nose in it, Maria. I mean, I do love you. So I wasn't expecting it to take that turn. To be honest, I thought, because I'm so silly, I love a happily ever after. Hell, I thought John Hawthorne was the one until I found out he was married with kids. And then he was just like, I ain't do nothing with that witch. You made a baby with the witch. So upsetting. But anyway, this book, it has taken so many twists and turns and all that stuff. I am going to try my best to read a couple pages tonight. Honestly, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, freaking titty surgery hurts. I got these bags of blood sitting next to me that I'm gonna have to drain in a minute before I go to bed. But it's gonna be worth it. Look, you can't really see how small they are now, but oh gosh, they're so much smaller and I'm so happy. But anyway, there's my little spoiler alert on that. I have this many pages to read, if you could tell. I don't know, I guess I'm like 3/4 of the way through. And hopefully if I have a good night tonight, I can get a few pages read if I don't fall asleep. If not, I gotta power through this book so I can start my next book. Oh yeah, and I'll do my next video whenever I get my Owl Crate and or Fairy Loot, whichever one comes first. I got an email that my Owl Crate is on the way, so maybe that will be first. It will be a surprise because I haven't read any of the spoilers. I haven't been paying attention to either of them, so we will see. Anyway, I'm glad you joined me for story time with Zuhairah. And I hope I didn't take too long explaining what's going on with magic lessons, but this is a pretty great story. I'm enjoying it. And maybe you'll enjoy it too. I never got my buddy reader, but I guess I got to do this one alone. Maybe next time I'll get a buddy reader. Hey, you gotta ask, right? Anyway, I'm out of here. My freaking back and my titties hurt. Thank you. Good night. Wear your mask. Bye.